Welcome to today's show. Before we get started, let me implore you to please click that subscribe, follow button wherever you get your podcasts. If you're enjoying the show, please spread the word. I'm grateful you've tuned in today. Also, please visit the website at secondlookcinema.net, where you can access transcripts of each episode and even submit an idea for a film to cover in a future episode. Now, on to the show. Welcome to Backdraft, the movie that has 10% firefighting and 90% dramatic sibling rivalry. Brian McCaffrey, played by the ever-well-coiffed William Baldwin, or Billy, is the rookie firefighter trying to escape the shadow of his overachieving, tough-as-nails older brother Steven, played by the always amazing Kurt Russell, who spends most of the movie either saving lives or making Brian feel like a complete idiot. Meanwhile, Robert De Niro plays a grizzled fire investigator who somehow knows everything but still lets half the city burn before figuring out there's an arsonist on the loose. Between the massive fireballs, slow-motion hero shots, and an unhealthy amount of staring meaningfully into the flames, the movie also throws in a murder mystery because why not? As Brian fumbles his way through dangerous situations and Steven yells at him a lot, they both realize that maybe, just maybe, they should stop trying to out-macho each other and focus on not getting roasted alive. In the end, the true message of Backdraft is clear. Brotherhood is everything, fire is terrifying, and if your workplace frequently explodes, maybe it's time for a career change. Here are 5 little-known facts about the making of Backdraft. Fact 1. The fires were mostly real. Instead of relying on CGI, director Ron Howard insisted on using real fire for most of the scenes. Special effects teams designed controlled burns, with hidden gas lines and vents, to make the flames behave dramatically on camera. The actors had to undergo actual firefighter training to ensure they could handle the intense heat safely. Fact 2. Kurt Russell pulled double duty. In addition to playing the tough and fearless Stephen McCaffrey, Kurt Russell also secretly played the brief scenes of their father, Dennis McCaffrey, who was shown in flashbacks. The production didn't credit him for the role, so many viewers never realized they were watching Russell play both father and son. Fact 3. Real firefighters were on set. To ensure accuracy, the filmmakers brought in real Chicago firefighters as consultants. Some even appeared in the film as extras, helping to stage realistic firefighting techniques. Their presence added authenticity, and they made sure the actors weren't just swinging axes randomly. Fact 4. The famous backdraft effect took months to perfect. The film's namesake phenomenon, where a fire explodes when suddenly exposed to oxygen, had to be carefully staged. Special effects teams spent months experimenting with different fuel and ventilation techniques to create the iconic slow-burning breathing effect of the fire before it violently erupted. Fact 5. Robert De Niro and Donald Sutherland improvised many of their scenes. The scenes between Robert De Niro's fire investigator, Donald Rimgale, and Donald Sutherland's creepy arsonist, Ronald Bartel, had an unscripted intensity. Howard encouraged them to improvise, leading to some of the film's most chilling and unpredictable moments, including Sutherland's unsettling speech about how fire lives. 1991 was quite a year. The Gulf War began in January, Seinfeld debuted on NBC, Whitney Houston performed the national anthem at the Super Bowl. I was 13 years old, and the Ron Howard film Backdraft was unleashed at the box office. When I think back to seeing the film, not upon its initial release, but about a year or two later on home video, there are a few things that stick out. 1. William Baldwin had the best 90s hair next to Christian Slater. Kurt Russell is, and always has been, the toughest, coolest actor on the freaking planet. And 3. Donald Sutherland delivers a performance so striking and incredible that he nearly steals the show from the explosions and intense fires. Oh, and 2 people make love on a ladder truck. My best bud in life, and the dude I will always regret not being the best man in my wedding, just so happens to be a firefighter for the Norfolk Fire Department. So I asked him to verify that scene on top of the ladder truck, for scientific purposes only, about the plausibility of that actually occurring. Stay tuned for that answer. But first and foremost, let me say how proud I am of him, but how amazing it has been over the years to go to an event or two and get a chance to hang out with some of Norfolk's firefighters. An eclectic group of men and women with stories to knock your socks off while sipping your favorite libation. As a kid, a firefighter was a hero that ran into the burning buildings and saved other kids and families. As an adult, with some years behind me, my definition of what a hero is has evolved. Can a hero run into a burning building and save a life? Yes, absolutely. Can a hero see incredible tragedy and remain strong for those around them, even if that means they suffer internally because of it? Definitely. But not without their brotherhood surrounding them. What I may see at first as just a group of NFD's heroes getting together to have a beer and swap stories is so much more than that. It's keeping the connection strong between them no matter what firehouse they get sent to or what the next stages of their lives are. They are a big, brave, dysfunctional family. The difference is, when the rest of us are running for cover, these men and women are immediately locked in and doing incredibly dangerous acts, focused first on the lives of others, and not on their own. Ron Howard's 1991 film Backdraft is more than just an action-packed thriller about firefighters battling deadly blazes. It's a story deeply rooted in the concept of brotherhood. From the bond between actual siblings to the unbreakable camaraderie among firefighters, the film explores the powerful and sometimes complicated relationships that define those who dedicate their lives to protecting others. By examining the relationships between the McCaffrey brothers, the collective unity of the firehouse, and the deeper philosophical ties that bind firefighters together, Backdraft presents brotherhood as both a source of strength and a source of conflict, but ultimately shows that both are a way to grow and become better men and women through adversity. In the heat and at the heart of Backdraft is the tumultuous relationship between Stephen, played by Kurt Russell, and Brian McCaffrey, William Baldwin. Their father, a heroic firefighter, died in the line of duty, leaving a lasting impact on both sons. Stephen, the older and more seasoned brother, follows in their father's footsteps with unwavering commitment, embodying the stereotypical tough-as-nails fireman. Brian, however, struggles with his place in the firefighting world, feeling overshadowed by Stephen's larger-than-life reputation. This sibling dynamic adds a deeply personal layer to the film's exploration of brotherhood, demonstrating how shared trauma and legacy can both unite and divide family members. Throughout the film, Stephen often belittles Brian, treating him as the inexperienced rookie he once was. Their relationship is strained by years of resentment, yet it is also underscored by an undeniable connection. No matter how much they argue, their shared history and love for each other remain evident. The firehouse, in many ways, becomes their battlefield, where they fight for respect and understanding. However, as the story progresses, Brian grows into his own as a firefighter, proving himself not only to Stephen, but also to himself. This evolution ultimately strengthens their bond, culminating in a tragic but poignant reconciliation when Stephen sacrifices himself in the line of duty. The film suggests that brotherhood, even when fraught with conflict, is ultimately about loyalty and sacrifice. Beyond the McCaffrey brothers, Backdraft portrays the firehouse as a surrogate family where brotherhood extends beyond genetics. Firefighters in the film share a bond forged through life and death situations, reinforcing the idea that their profession requires more than just teamwork. It demands complete trust. The film vividly illustrates how this trust is built through shared experiences, mutual respect, and the unspoken understanding that every firefighter is willing to risk their life for another. One of the most compelling examples of this camaraderie is the way the crew interacts with each other both on and off duty. They tease, challenge, and sometimes fight, but at the core of their relationships is an unshakable commitment to one another's safety. Unlike typical workplace friendships, the bonds in Backdraft are forged in fire, both literally and figuratively. This sense of unity is further tested when it becomes clear that an arsonist is among them. The idea that one of their own could betray the brotherhood shakes the firehouse to its core. The betrayal underscores how sacred their bond is, making this violation all the more devastating. It's only through confronting this betrayal and reaffirming their commitment to one another that the firehouse can heal and move forward. The film highlights the selflessness and courage required in the profession, reinforcing the idea that firefighting is not just a job, but a way of life. Firefighters in Backdraft are bound by an unspoken code. They run toward danger rather than away from it, not for personal glory, but because they're part of something greater than themselves. This philosophy is best expressed through Donald Shadow Rimgale, the veteran fire investigator who serves as a mentor figure. He represents the wisdom of experience and the understanding that being a firefighter is about more than just extinguishing fires. It's about standing beside your brothers no matter what. His presence in the film reinforces the notion that brotherhood transcends generations, with older firefighters guiding and shaping the younger ones, ensuring that the values of loyalty, courage, and sacrifice endure. And now about that ladder truck scene. I was informed that however fantastical that scene may have appeared, to remember that real firefighters were on set to help with authenticity. Apparently that included the ladder truck scene as well. No one is sharing specifics, nor would those be something appropriate for this particular show. To sum up, no one can confirm, but no one can deny. For now, I guess, the truth is out there, or on that mysterious ladder truck. In 1991, I was 13 years old, had no idea how hard it was to be a firefighter. At 46, what I've learned is that it takes a special kind of person to be willing to do what they do each day. Not just in the flames, but in their minds. While it may take incredible skill and training to endure what they face while fighting a fire, it's important to remember that there's no training for what comes after. And that is why they laugh, they tease each other, and why they gather together like family whenever they get the chance to. Brotherhood means never being alone, even when your darkest days are upon you. Thank God for the men and women of the fire department all across this great nation. The word hero doesn't quite cut it, but for now, it'll have to do. This week, take another look at Ron Howard's Backdraft. This time, instead of getting lost in the fires, explosions, and intrigue, consider the real firefighters that were on set and appreciate the fact that they weren't acting or being paid millions of dollars to be on screen, that they act invisibly to to be ready at any point to rush into danger. Thank you for listening today. As always, watch films deeper, listen closer, and search for a deeper meaning than what's on the surface. I'll see you next time.